Hi everyone, how you doing? It's fleeing today. It's Sunday, I don't know what day, 16th, 17th? Yeah, Sunday the 16th I think. March, can't believe it. Been out this morning, went for breakfast with my mum and Simon. And then I thought, what do I want to do this afternoon? I thought, I've got to sort that back bedroom out. And then I was upstairs just chilling in the bedroom because I've got this nice front room all done, but I tend to sit upstairs because, well, I don't know, it's just comfier. So I just do that. But then I thought, I don't want to do a video. And then I thought, yeah, but I don't want to go out. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to do some cooking. I've not done any cooking for ages. A few months back, this was before I went to Egypt, I talked about a book. Let me get the book. I went into Oldham Records office about 2 years ago or something. I was Stella, and they were selling off these, they were giving them away, these bulletins. And they're, I don't know why I didn't pick up more, you know, kick myself now, because I think, why didn't you just pick up more, Sarah? Because literally there were loads of them, I could have just had them all. Anyway, I picked this one up because this is from winter 1972, so this is actually 50 years old, this bulletin, believe it or not. More than 50, 52 years old. Not right? Yeah, it is, isn't it? Anyway, it's in immaculate condition, and I were going through, and I can't find my glasses, and I've left my other ones upstairs, but basically there's a recipe in here, and it says in it, Society Scrapbook, this section of the bulletin is This section of the bulletin is to record items of general interest, discoveries, sources, references, etc., which, although to present time may not be relevant to the future, this section may provide the only record of the items of incident for prosperity, and could prevent them from being completely forgotten. So it's interesting, isn't it? It has prevented it from being completely forgotten, because I'm going to do one of these recipes now. So there's a recipe in here for lotion to remove freckles from the face, lotion for the hair, cure for toothache, recipe for rheumatism, pop. Oh, this is interesting. Ginger. I'm not going to read that because I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that in summer. Cure for warts, good for bad stomach. The recipe that we're doing today is called Everlasting Cake, and it says, Oldham Saddleworth Recipes and Cures, contributed by a member of the Society from a family notebook over 100 years old. So this was put in 1972, and it was over 100-year-old then. So we're talking probably 175 years ago, this recipe. And the recipe is 1 quart of flour, 1 quart of currants, half of sugar, half of butter, 1 teaspoon of soda, 1 summit of essence of lemon, but I'm going to use orange today because I've got oranges in that bowl, and 1 gill of milk. Mix all together and bake for 1.5 hours, but this is going to be baked for 1 hour on 180 degrees. I don't know how much. I've got some modern day equivalents in terms of the sizes. So what I thought was, instead of buying the butter, I've got some cream, because I've made butter before on the channel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the butter. Then I've got 2 things of cream in there. So I'm going to make the butter, whisk it up, drain it through a muslin cloth, and then I'm going to mix it all together in the bowl. I'm going to add the orange, and I'm also going to add some cinnamon and a bit of nutmeg, I think. I've got some nutmeg as well, you see, it cupboard, so it makes sense, doesn't it? Then we'll cook it, and then I'll make a cup of tea and try it. Right then, let's get the butter going. So I bought this cream. It's extra, it might be too much actually. Extra thick double cream. Really is thick as well. Won't even come out the bleeding tub. Might be too thick. I doubt it though. I got this because it was cheaper than the other. And I'm going to do a lot because I need 200, oh, shut up. I need 200 grams of cream. Butter even. So any that I make extra, I think I'm going to add a bit of salt to this butter as well. I think we're out of butter now. If you look, you've got the buttermilk that comes out, and that's the butter. Need a muslin. I've got one of them. So we've just made our own butter there. Now there is 360 grams. Right, everybody, this is where I'm having to do a voiceover now. Oh, yeah, here I am. I thought it was frozen then. Yeah, I'm having to do a voiceover here because I was listening to Leo Sayer. And yeah, YouTube doesn't like it when you play people's music and all of that. So I'm just weighing it out. We need 220 grams of this butter for the recipe. So I think with this nodule here, I think I had about 211. So I just left it at that. The rest, just getting a little bit of a tub now out of the cupboard. And what I'll do, I'm just going to fire it in that tub and then just put it in fridge. I'm going to use a bit in a bit as well, just to grease out the tin, you know, that I'm going to bake the cake on. So just fire that in the fridge. I don't know if you can see my shoes. I've got those Egyptian numbers on that I bought while I was over there. So then what I'm doing is I'm just weighing everything out on the scale. You know what? I didn't even realise that you couldn't actually see what we're going on very clearly. I do actually realise this second that you can't see and move the ball over. But I think I've just emptied in about 250. Got loads of bloody flour in that cupboard, you know. There you go, I realise what's going on. So in total, I think I put in 500 and some grams of flour. This recipe is like nearly 200 years old, as you know. So what I did is I just did a online comparison and worked out what it should be. You know what's slightly interesting? And the butter, I'm just scrunching it up really. I'm going to fast forward this shortly once we've got all the ingredient in, because otherwise it'll just take ages. But what have you noticed? Well, you'll notice I've not mentioned eggs. There's no eggs in this recipe, you know, which I thought was really, really odd. I was tempted to put an egg in, and then I thought, yeah, but if you do that, it's not the recipe. And as it is, I've added cinnamon and nutmeg, which I put a pinch in. But other than that, it's apart from swapping the lemons for oranges, it is the recipe. And nutmeg and cinnamon would have definitely been available in these times. So now I'm putting in 112 grams of raisins. So I've just put in the 220 grams of butter. And then what do I put in then? Oh, then I think I'll go on the hunt for the bicarbonate soda. Oh no, sugar. I'm reaching for sugar. I was going to use standard sugar, you know, like a Tate and Lyle, but I thought, no, I've got caster, so I'll use the caster sugar instead, because that's for baking. And I know that might not have been available at the time. In fact, I'm fairly confident. I don't know, was it available at the time? Could you get caster sugar then? Maybe. But anyway, and then I just threw it in. Again, I was just weighing it on the scale, you know. And then we need to get the bicarb in, which I'll go on a hunt for. Right, so I've got the bicarb. I've got two of these. You know what? I'm sure I had some baking powder, but then I thought, would they have had baking powder, or would it just be bicarb? Anyway, it's too late. It's gone in, and that's the end of that one. So, because it was a really dry mix, I thought, you know what I'll do? You know, like when you're making pastry and you put your hand in and you just grind everything together, because it had those lumps of butter, I thought that was the best thing to do, just to try and break it up. before I start putting that milk in, just to sort of wet the, to get it more of a combined mixture is what I'm trying to say. Right, everybody, we've got the milk now. So you'll notice I weren't measuring that milk out at all. I just thought, you know what? It said about a quarter pint, to be fair. So if you want to do this yourself, you're looking at about a quarter pint. But I just put it in to where I sort of thought, that's a reasonable texture and it's not too dry and it's not, too wet. 'Cause I can't imagine you'd want it to be just due to there's no eggs in it. Do you know what I mean? So it's obviously supposed to be like a dryish cake mixture. But that spoon was just too much, so I just gave up and just put my hand back in and just did it with my hand. I had washed my hands, by the way. I'm not a dirty get like that. There's only going to be me eating it anyway, unless me and Simon want to eat some. They probably will. Don't know about your mum, but Simon probably will. But I'm literally gonna just chop it up once I've got it, and it is out the oven downstairs now. Just waiting for it to cool. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put it in like little freezer bags and freeze it, and then when I want a piece of cake, I'll just pull it out. And the good thing about this, apart from the currants, which I bought last week when I thought, oh, I'll do that cake, and they were dead cheap from Tesco. I think they're about £2 or something, which is cheap nowadays for currants. Everything I had in, so I didn't have to go out and buy anything, like reasonably cheap to make. Anyway, let's get it in the bowl. So I just went into the front room, went to the fruit bowl and got some orange, and I'm just washed the skin and then just started grating the outside of it just to get a bit of that zinging. I reckon it'll be nice, that. Again, this was something that was around at that time because they used to do marmalade, didn't they? And then I stabbed it open and just squoze all juice in. I did both sides because it was only a small orange, and I just thought it'd make it a nice taste, and then add that cinnamon and add that what's in the jig? That nutmeg. Again, you'll notice I just throw stuff in, and there's two reasons for that. One, I just thought I'll just guess because it's just easier. And this were really, really hard to spin this, honestly, stir even. And the other reason why I just won it is because that's what people would have done years ago. Like they would have just done it right rack of the eye. It's like Simon's mum; she used to cook cake or bake cakes, and she used to just do it by rack of eye. It weren't like people just knew. I think my grandma was the same. They just knew, like, and what they were putting in and what have you. Anyway, this is the nutmeg. I've had this nutmeg for about 4 years. It's probably gone off by now, but there are only bits going in. Bit of fluff just dropped in there. I don't know where that came from. Right, let's get it in the bowl. Right, everyone, so we've got it in the bowl and we're going to get it in the oven now. Right, everyone, let's get it in this oven, 180 degrees, fan assisted, and I give it an hour. And then let's get back and see what happens once we pull it out. Right, oh, it smells absolutely gorgeous. I'm upstairs editing. I don't done some washing as well. Anybody else got one of these in their house? They're absolutely brilliant. Bought that quilt cover today from charity shop. Paid £6. It's from Dunelm Mill. Right, let's have a look what we're dealing with here. Woo-hoo-hoo! Look at that! I think that's ready. It's buttery. You know what? I'm going to give it another 10 minutes. Right, everybody, I've decided it's ready. See, the thing is, there is no directions on how to cook it, but it's risen. If you dip the knife in, there's like a buttery consistency, but there's a lot of butter in the cake, so it will have, won't it? I think the best thing to do is to just let it air. I'll put it on this rack actually, rather than it being direct on the work surface. Not that it'll damage the work surface, but easier to move on the rack. I don't even think I'm going to take it out of the thing. I'm just going to let it cool down as it is. Give it half an hour and then shut this oven. Don't know how that oven's as clean as it is. Well, probably because I never use it. Let it cool and then take it out, because when I did a cake the other week, I did a parking which I didn't film. It all collapsed because I messed about with it, so I'm just going to leave this alone. Right, everybody, so I've just been editing. It's cooled down quite well. I can handle it. So, oh, it's just slid straight out, look. It smells, what does it smell? You know when you used to do bacon at school and it had that buttery taste to it, buttery smell. It's got that. Woo, look at that. Oh. Just trying to collapse. Nearly collapsed on me then. Sort of has a little bit. Should have left it upside down, shouldn't I? Anyway, it's okay. No problem. We're still all good. Look. I'm glad I took it out when I did, everyone, because I think it... You know what? I'm going to cut some now. Frig it. Should we try some now? It's very, very soft. Very crumbly. And I think very raw in the middle. I think it's raw. Might need to go back in. That's why it's collapsed, because it's raw. Right then, let's have a look. Still squishy here, you know, but I don't know if it's just really buttery or whether it's because that's set. You know what I'm going to do, everyone? I'm going to chop it up and then come back. It's definitely raw in the middle though. That's all right, because what we're going to do, we're going to cut the raw out because it's cooked on the outside. I'll try and cook that in a pan in a minute. I'll do something with it. Look at this. 170 maybe 175 years old cake recipe. Loads of cake there. Let's have a look at it. I'll come over here. This is the... Let's get another piece. Here we go. This has got some currants in. So this is the texture. Shall we try it? Right, everybody. So here it is. Let's go. You know what? That is gorgeous. You know what I'd do next time? I wouldn't cook it in one slab. I would put it in like, because it's so dry. I'd either do it as you do a scone or a scone, or do it in little fairy cakes. You know, so it's not as dense, because it's very dense. I think that's why it struggles to cook through. It says cook it for an hour and a half in the recipe. But in the actual translation of the recipe, it says an hour in modern ovens. But I think hour and a half is what you need. Anyway, I've eaten it. That is lovely. It's really light. Doesn't need any egg in it. You could do that recipe. If you wanted to, you could use oatmeal. Oatmeal bread. Is it oatmeal? Oat bread. Or soya milk, sorry. Could do it with that. It's lovely, that. I like the, oh no, because it had homemade butter in as well, didn't it? I think that's a good result. 175 years old. I reckon that would be easy, that recipe. Maybe even older than that. They said it's going to be, well, they said at least 100, didn't they? Or over 100-year-old recipe. So, and that was back in 1972. Anyway, everyone, it's very sweet. I feel a bit sick after that, actually, because my stomach's empty. But yeah, result. What we'll do, I'm going to be doing some more recipes from Oldham's past. I did some a while ago. We're going to be doing a few more now. I'm in the mood for doing some cooking. And I suppose I'll see you in the next one.